Hi, and thank you for listening to me in this language. But you had a small mother tongue break just with Hase. And before I'm starting, I would like to make a snapshot here. These are snapshots, and I would like to make a snapshot on you. Actually, I wrote mine. No, really. Can I ask you, please, raise your hand if you already did at least once something you called solution focus. So who's acting solution focus already here? Please raise your hand. Okay, good. And please raise your hand if you think you know what solution focus is. So you could explain it to someone? Raise your hand. Okay, so it's more mixed picture. I'm also interested in, I heard from someone being a fresh woman or a freshman in solution focus. Who considered himself, herself a freshman here? Oh, thank you for giving your trust here. And I'm also curious who's child of a solution focused person? Okay. Okay. And who's having children at home and think, oh, this might influence them, this solution focus thing? Good. This snapshot is for later on when we are talking about the future of SF. Okay? I think it's a very crucial thing in there, in future of SF. Oh, and I'm also interested in, this conference is called Supported by EPTA and Solworld. And who's here who's none of them? Nothing with EPTA, nothing for, how did you figure out you should be here? And who's here because of EPTA? Who's here because you knew EPTA or you're a member of EPTA? Okay, thank you. And who's here because you knew or a member of Solworld? Okay, so very interesting. You somehow managed to attract people from the whole thing. Thank you. I think Jesper already told something about how come I'm here. It's partly maybe those 15 and more years of learning SF, solution focus, and maybe, yes, this thing that I just started a PhD study on that. And I think, at least in Hungary for coaching, I will be probably the first who did PhD on coaching. Surely not worldwide. And I don't know how many people already did a PhD or something like that on solution focus. But I know there are some people here who are very engaged for addressing solution focus fields with research and with an independent eye. And that's a very interesting journey to do things which are familiar to me for over 15 years, and to talk about it in a different language, and I think science is a different language. It's very early, I'm standing here, I'm just starting with these studies. But I thought maybe we could check out a small piece of my research. I'm already in it, and I already can show you some results. And what I'm interested in is learning. Learning for profession, learning for very concrete and practical situations. And I suggest that addressing learning with an SFI, with some solution-focused assumptions, brings not only a fresh wind into the organizations, but also a high-level efficiency in those learning processes. And I would like to model a very small piece of my research with you. And so we can compare what this room brings and what other professionals do. And what we need for that is someone who can ask you a question and someone you can ask a question. So I would like to ask you to stand up and find a person from a different table you did not talk to today yet. And I'm really happy you are doing the most natural and most SF thing you can do, means connection before topic. So thank you, you are already connected to this person. And this is the topic or the question. Please ask this person and give your answer too. Please tell about a recent learning experience of yours. That you find useful for your practitioner, being a practitioner. In my original research, it was for you as a coach. But I think in this room, we are talking about for you as a practitioner. And what exactly happened? And what would you say you learned, thanks of this happening? You will have 2 + 2 minutes for this, and you will hear probably a sign in between. This would be the time to change the direction in the conversation. Thank you. Please say thank you to this person in my name as well, that she took this, and I invite you to sit back. Actually, the exact questions I asked in this small first piece of research, and this was the first discussion with my, how you say, Dr. Mutter, with my supervisor, because she said, you have to ask them for the definition of learning. And I told them, no, I don't ask them for a definition. I ask them for a situation where they use the word learning, which is a very clear, some are already nodding, a very clear SF preference. And we hear Wittgenstein saying usage of the word. So this is how it came up, and I'm curious about the answers. I was checking the answers in different aspects. Please raise your hand if the situation you were telling happened in a professional situation. Okay, quite a lot. Please raise your hand if it was a formal learning situation. So someone arranged this for you that you are able to learn. Not that many, huh? You see that? This was the very first important finding, that learning happens all the time. Please raise your hand, and I'm clear there won't be that many where this situation was in a not professional, so in a non-professional situation. Less, but few. In my research, there was more of that. It was around 20%, clearly, not professional related ones. And then one more thing. Please raise your hand if another person was involved in this situation. So you would say it was depending on talking to someone or interacting with someone. Yeah, please look around. This is another very important finding. And this was also a quite high number in my research I did, even independently of what kind of situation these were. It was very clear they were interacting with someone. So if you want to use these very, very small things, for organizational change, what shall I do? Maybe I just shall ask people frequently, hey, what did you learn lately? How did you do that? And what do you think? In what concrete situations, in what way exactly will this turn up as a learning? And if we somehow managed to install this curiosity towards us ourselves and towards our co-workers, our subordinates, you say so, then maybe something fresh comes in there. SF is a very fitting mindset for this. If you think each professional case is different, if you assume that the actor of that concrete situation, so your neighbor, is expert for that professional situation, if you are clear about that you can't really know how this looks for him or her, then you probably really take your mouth open and ask that question. Hey, what did you learn lately? So this learning can occur in that interaction. One last raising hand. Who had this idea? I learned there something before I asked the question. And who had this learning experience new just because you got the question? So please raise your hand if you would say, Kati asked this question, then my partner asked this question, so I recognize I learned something. Who would say that? Please higher a bit that I can see. How many? Oh, clarify the question. Who would say that you recognized this piece of learning you shared because of the question, what did you learn lately? Who are those? Yes, I hoped there will be those. And my best hope for this snapshot is there if during the day you address one or other here and ask, hey, what did you learn in that workshop? And how do you think will this show up in your work? Then it was a good snapshot. Thank you very much.